21, who knew she still had such a girlish heart. She ignored Chu Jinan and turned her gaze to Song Yunfei, saying, "I've come to bring you something." Xiao Jian pointed to two large boxes not far away, his tone now tinged with resentment. "You've wasted so much of my money, you're really getting off easy." Song Yunfei was also stealing glances at Chu Jinan, and seeing his expression, Song Yunfei's heart pounded. I don't know what Xiao Jian was thinking. If he didn't want him to go back, why did he show up at all? Even with a mask on, it may not be enough to cover everything. Song Yunfei said helplessly, "You don't need to send me these. Why would you leave it with me? It's taking up space. Anyway, I've given it to you. You can figure out how to take it back yourself." Xiao Jian waved his hand, not caring whether she wanted it or not, and turned to get into a taxi by the roadside. Song Yunfei looked at her suspiciously. How did this woman know her address? It's definitely Bai Yu again. How do we prepare these? Chu Jinan asked. Song Yunfei shrugged. Take it back. We can't just leave it here. She tried to move the boxes, but found she couldn't lift them at all. Chu Jinan tried, and he was able to move it, but the box was too big and difficult to lift. It took two people to carry it back. It was called lifting, but it was really just Song Yunfei supporting him. The weight was all on Chu Jinan. The box for the dog house was quite heavy, while the other one was very light, which Chu Jinan could carry back by himself. He made 2 trips and brought both boxes back. The doghouse was demolished and needed to be reassembled, so the two of them squatted inside and spent half an hour assembling it while looking at the assembly diagram. Song Yunfei couldn't help but sigh inwardly, realizing that he was becoming more and more skilled at these tasks. The other box contains dog food, toys, and the like. Song Yunfei tossed the toy to Quan Quan, who played with it for a bit before going back to lie down. Her eyes looked so melancholy, like she had just broken up with her boyfriend. Upon closer inspection, there seemed to be no problem. The person could eat, drink, and sleep. Song Yunfei was worried and said to Chu Jinan, "Let's take it to get checked out tomorrow to see if there's anything wrong with its health." Chu Jinan nodded. "Then wait for me to get off work, and we'll go together." Good. Song Yunfei has taken a month's leave, and she still has about 10 days of vacation left. She doesn't plan to go to work and intends to stay home and study. For her now, studying is the most urgent thing. As soon as she got up in the morning, Song Yunfei sat down in front of the computer. First, she transferred the files from Wu Wei's computer. To motivate herself, she even considered wrapping a red cloth around her forehead. But she couldn't find it, so she wrote, "Go for it," on a sticky note and stuck it on her forehead. I don't know if it was just psychological suggestion, but it seemed to work. Apart from eating and feeding the dog, she was almost always focused on studying during the day. Even if I accidentally look at something else while researching, as soon as I touch the sticker on my forehead, I will immediately close all irrelevant software and continue to concentrate on studying. Chu Jinan left work early, carrying a bag of groceries. Song Yunfei has mastered the skill of quickly closing the web page and opening the media player as soon as she hears the password input sound. Song Yunfei smiled at him. "You're back so fast. I haven't even finished watching this episode of TV yet." Although Chu Jinan couldn't see anything on her computer, he did see the sticker on her forehead. He walked over slowly, stood in front of Song Yunfei, and gazed at her for a long while. He asked suspiciously, "Is TV really that good?" Song Yunfei chuckled twice. "Yeah, it's really good. Let's watch it together when we get back tonight. Then, I need to put one on too." Song Yunfei paused for a moment, then, noticing his gaze, suddenly remembered something. She raised her hand and touched the sticker on her head, her smile becoming somewhat stiff. Striving to maintain a smile, she nodded. "Tai. This is my favorite actor. I have to support him." Chu Jinan glanced at the screen, and although he didn't understand, he still said, "Oh." To ease the awkwardness, Song Yunfei turned off the computer and picked up Quan Quan. Okay, let's go. Let's take Quan Quan for a checkup first. Chu Jinan put down the groceries he was holding and followed her out. After putting Quan Quan in the car, Song Yunfei turned around and got into the car. Set off. Chu Jinan has gotten used to driving this little pink car, and now he walks on the street without being afraid of other people's stares. This person definitely needs to be trained. Suddenly, while waiting at the traffic light, a mocking and irritating voice came from the side. Wow, what a lovely pink color. I never would have guessed that Mr. Chu has such a girlish heart. Song Yunfei turned her head and saw a Mercedes parked next to her. Bai Yu leaned her arm against the car window, watching the two of them with a smile. Chu Jinan glanced at him briefly, then ignored him and looked away. Quan Quan, who had been listlessly lying on the electric scooter, suddenly stood up, bared his teeth at Bai Yu, and made low whimpering noises. Chu Jinan looked down. Song Yunfei also leaned over to take a look, a hint of surprise appearing in her eyes. Quan Quan is really angry. I've had her for so long, and this is the first time I've ever seen her look at me with such a murderous glare. What did you do to it? Bai Yu still had that same smiling face. What could I possibly do to a little cutie? Maybe it took after its owner and bares its teeth whenever it sees its owner's rival. As soon as he finished speaking, the expression on his face changed. They became terrified, shocked, and panicked. Quan Quan kicked off with both legs and jumped towards his car. If he hadn't gotten into the car quickly, his hand would probably have been in serious trouble. Quan Quan missed its target and fell to the ground. Just then, the green light turned on, and Chu Jinan scooped the dog up and placed it on the footboard. Bai Yu drove off. Woof! Quan Quan barked furiously at his car and struggled to chase after it. Chu Jinan could barely grip it with both feet, so he had to ride the electric scooter to the side. The little guy has grown up and is stronger now. With Chu Jinan distracted, the electric scooter wobbled from side to side. Song Yunfei, sitting in the back, was terrified and clung tightly to Chu Jinan's waist, saying, "Quickly, find a place to stop." Chu Jinan was also looking for a parking spot, but it was rush hour and there were cars and people everywhere. At the bend, a child ran out, and Chu Jinan's expression changed. He braked suddenly and swerved. The next second, the electric scooter, the man, and the dog all collapsed onto the curb. Quan Quan was agile and jumped down in a flash. But Song Yunfei and Chu Jinan didn't have time to react and fell heavily to the ground. Song Yunfei grimaced, covered her head, shook herself, and sat up from the ground. Chu Jinan, are you all right? Chu Jinan also sat up from the ground, clutching his head. He closed his eyes, his brows furrowed, and a look of pain appeared on his face. Song Yunfei was shocked and grabbed his arm, calling out worriedly, "Chu Jinan, what's wrong?" Chu Jinan ignored her, his expression constantly changing. Suddenly, images flooded my mind, as if they were about to burst my brain. Quan Quan stopped running around and probably realized she had caused trouble. She anxiously sniffed around the two of them. Song Yunfei was also a little anxious. Had he bumped his head? "I'll take you to the hospital." Song Yunfei tried to help him up, but the next moment, her wrist was pressed down. A slightly hoarse male voice came through, "No need." Chapter 122. One sentence was enough to expose her true colors. The two were sitting on the ground and squatting on the ground, attracting the attention of passers-by. However, he only glanced at it before leaving. Chu Jinan rubbed his temples and shook his head until his eyes cleared. He looked up at Song Yunfei, his eyes filled with an indescribable complexity. Song Yunfei felt her scalp tingle and her eyelids twitch several times as he stared at her so intently. You are looking at me like that, it's kind of scary." Chu Jinan pondered for a moment, then suddenly spoke, "So it was you who bumped into me." Upon hearing this, Song Yunfei lost her balance and fell to the ground with a thud. She looked at the man in front of her, her face pale, wanting to say something, but when she opened her mouth, only her lips trembled. Chu Jinan stared intently at her for a long time, as if trying to see right through her. But the next moment, his eyes returned to normal. Did you bump into me from behind just now? Song Yunfei froze, her cerebellum seemed to shrink for a moment, and she sat on the ground like a wooden chicken, looking completely bewildered. Ah! She looked at the man's slightly raised eyebrows, as if he was waiting for her answer. After regaining her composure, Song Yunfei gave a dry laugh, but it was an ugly laugh. Yes, I was nervous just now, and I think I bumped into you a little. I'm sorry. In just a few seconds, she made several feints, scratching her head, scratching her neck, looking left and right, but she just didn't dare to look at Chu Jinan. She was so terrified that she had completely forgotten what had just happened. She herself was unsure whether she had actually hit Chu Jinan. Chu Jinan stood up from the ground and held the electric scooter to its feet. Let's get down to business first. As he spoke, he was already sitting on the electric scooter. Quan Quan wisely jumped up as well. He turned his head and looked at Song Yunfei, who was still sitting on the ground. When Song Yunfei met his gaze, she didn't know why, but his gaze was strange, though she couldn't quite put her finger on why. Without thinking twice, she quickly got up from the ground, dusted herself off, and sat down in the car with trepidation. Chu Jinan stopped talking, restarted the car, and slowly drove away. Song Yunfei rubbed her heart in the back. She was almost scared to death just now. I thought this guy had remembered. Chu Jinan, who was driving in front, also had a very serious expression. He did recall something just now, the car accident footage, which was clearer than the last time. This time, he not only saw the car that hit him, but also the people who got out of the car. Although the figure was blurry, he recognized her at a glance after spending so much time with Song Yunfei. That's why I tested the waters. One sentence was all it took to expose her true colors. He had already suspected it when he went to Song Yunfei's hometown and learned that Song Yunfei was lying. Perhaps because I was mentally prepared, I was definitely angry after it was confirmed, but more than angry, I felt confused. Perhaps he hadn't thought of enough, which left him momentarily at a loss for what to do. Upon arriving at the veterinary hospital, Song Yunfei handed Quan Quan over to the vet. After a thorough examination, the doctor said it was perfectly healthy. It's probably because you just had a neutering procedure and are in a bad mood. It's nothing serious, you'll be fine in a while. Song Yunfei's eyes widened in shock. Sterilized. The doctor looked at her suspiciously. Don't you know whether your own pet has been spayed or neutered? Song Yunfei's mind was buzzing. Without even thinking, it must have been Bai Yu who did it. No wonder Quan Quan wanted to bite Bai Yu to death when he saw him before. It turns out they have such a deep grudge. No wonder Bai Yu gave Quan Quan to Xiao Jian to raise. If he had raised it himself, he probably would have been bitten to death by Quan Quan. Poor Quan Quan, he never even experienced love before becoming a eunuch. After cursing Bai Yu 100 times in her mind, she went to Quan Quan, rubbed its head, and asked the doctor, will the neutering have any effect on its health? It won't have much of an impact, except that I won't be interested in other dogs anymore. Hearing that it had no impact, Song Yunfei breathed a sigh of relief. She held Quan Quan and comforted it for a long time, not knowing if it could understand her. Chu Jinan stood quietly beside her, watching her. Looking at the woman's profile, he seemed somewhat dazed. All right, let's go back, Song Yunfei said, turning her head. Chu Jinan said, take it back first, I have something to do. Song Yunfei thought for a moment, then nodded without asking any further questions and left the pet hospital with Quan Quan. Once on the electric scooter, she said to Chu Jinan, shall I go back and cook first? Song Yunfei glanced at him a couple more times. He had already returned to normal and there was nothing wrong with him. She twisted the accelerator and drove the electric scooter off. Only after watching her walk away did Chu Jinan slowly withdraw his gaze. 2 hours later, Chu Jinan sat in the hospital's examination room, while a balding doctor across from him carefully examined his CT scan. He came to the hospital immediately after parting ways with Song Yunfei. After a short while, the doctor reviewed his medical report and said thoughtfully, "You have dissociative amnesia caused by severe head trauma that compressed your nerves. The bruise on your body is slowly dissipating, and your memory will gradually return. It looks like it will only take a month or two. According to what you just said, the collision was probably a coincidence that triggered some fragments. You don't need to think about it deliberately, and you shouldn't use similar methods to avoid putting a burden on your brain and causing irreversible damage." Chu Jinan pondered for a moment, then asked, "Does a person's personality change after losing their memory compared to before?" The doctor pondered for a moment and said, "Essentially, there won't be much change. However, everyone's personality is multifaceted, so there may be some changes in expression, but the core personality will not be reshaped." Simply put, dissociative amnesia is like a computer. What is lost is only the stored content, but the underlying operating logic of the computer remains unchanged. Your way of thinking, value judgments, certain habits and instincts will not change because of the loss of memories. Chu Jinan listened quietly. After the doctor finished speaking, he asked again, "Will things that happened during the period of amnesia be affected after the memory is restored?" The doctor fell into deep thought. After pondering for a while, he slowly shook his head. "It seems there's no standard answer to this. Logically speaking, it depends on the process and method of your memory recovery. After amnesia, your brain is in a self-protective state. If it is a slow and gradual natural recovery, the old and new memories may have a relatively smooth integration process. But if the recovery is sudden and violent, a large number of past memories will flood in instantly, which may shatter these short-term memories from the amnesia period, or even cause memory confusion. That's why I say, don't deliberately provoke things, just let nature take its course." Chapter 123 Subtle Changes. When Chu Jinan returned, Song Yunfei had already prepared the meal. She carried the soup pot out quickly, placed it on the table, rubbed her fingers together, and then looked at the man at the door. "You came back right on time. I was just about to call you." After saying that, she went back into the kitchen to get bowls and chopsticks. Chu Jinan watched her busy figure, stood at the door for a while, and then changed his shoes and went inside. After placing the bowl and chopsticks in front of him, Song Yunfei saw that he was still standing in the room and said, "What are you still standing there for? Go wash your hands." Chu Jinan paused for a moment, then turned and went to the restroom. After they came out, the two sat at the table, and Song Yunfei noticed that he seemed to have something on his mind. "I couldn't help but ask, what's wrong? Is something happening at the factory?" Chu Jinan shook his head without saying anything, picked up his chopsticks and began to eat. After taking a couple of bites, he put down his chopsticks and said, "I have to go to work overtime later. Go to bed early tonight, don't wait for me." Song Yunfei was taken aback. It had been a long time since he had heard him mention working overtime. She bit her chopsticks and looked at Chu Jinan for a while. He still had that same expression, so you couldn't tell anything. Song Yunfei smiled and said, "Okay, go ahead and do your work, don't worry about me." He left before he had finished his meal. As Song Yunfei watched his departing figure, she felt a strange, indescribable feeling in her heart. She was just worried that Chu Jinan might have regained his memory. But it doesn't look like it. If it really recovered, it wouldn't look like this anymore. She sighed and continued eating with her head down. There were so many dishes that she couldn't finish them all by herself, and a lot of food was left over. "I gave Quan Quan some, and put the rest in the refrigerator. It'll be just right for her to eat by herself tomorrow at noon. Not knowing when Chu Jinin would be back that night, she didn't dare turn on her computer to study, so she could only sit on the sofa with Quan Quan and watch TV. I don't know if it was because the TV was too boring or because I was too sleepy, but I fell asleep while watching it. She was startled awake when she heard someone open the door. Song Yunfei rubbed her eyes and looked towards the door. When she saw who it was, she breathed a sigh of relief. "You're back." Chu Jinin was taken aback. "Why aren't you asleep yet?" "I was asleep, I just woke up." She patted herself on the sofa and found her phone in the corner. "When I picked it up, I realized it was already 3 a.m. Song Yunfei looked at him in surprise. "Is your factory that busy? You are only getting back now." Chu Jinin moved his lips as if to say something, but in the end he only hummed in agreement before grabbing his pajamas and going into the bathroom. When he finished washing up and came out, he saw Song Yunfei standing at the door again. She smiled at him and said, "You didn't eat much tonight, and you are only getting off work this late. Aren't you hungry?" Chu Jinin stared at her for several seconds before speaking. "I'm not hungry." "Oh. It's late, time to sleep." He left those words and headed towards the bedroom. Song Yunfei clearly saw that he paused for 2 seconds when he entered the room, but eventually went into the bedroom. Sure enough, after spending a lot of time together, you can easily notice certain subtle changes. Although Chu Jinin seemed normal, she could still sense that something was off about him. "When we go to sleep, the first thing I do is hug her, as if I want to stick her together with glue. But tonight, he lay down and didn't move. There was an empty space between them, and the cold seeped in through the gap. Half an hour later, the bed was still cold." Looking into the darkness, Song Yunfei could vaguely make out the outline of a man. After a while, she turned over and faced away from Chu Jinin. My mind started wandering uncontrollably, and the most frequent guess was whether he had remembered. If he remembered, he shouldn't have had no reaction at all. Or perhaps he just had some unpleasant experiences at work. Lost in thought, I fell asleep without realizing it. When I woke up again, it was already bright outside, and the curtains couldn't block out the sunlight. Looking at the time, it was indeed almost noon. She got out of bed listlessly, opened the bedroom door, and found Quan Quan squatting at the door playing with a toy in his mouth. As soon as he saw her, he dropped the toy and wagged his tail at her. It seems that it has recovered its spirits. But Song Yunfei was out of sorts. She ignored Quan Quan's enthusiasm and walked listlessly toward the restroom. Suddenly noticing the breakfast left on the table, his drooping head straightened up again. Seeing the breakfast on the table, it was as if the chasm left on the bed last night had suddenly been filled in. The next moment, Song Yunfei realized an even more serious problem. I seem to have unknowingly fallen a little too deep. Even the most ordinary breakfast can affect her mood. She slowly walked to the dining table and sat down, resting her chin on her hand and staring blankly at the breakfast on the table. She wasn't the only one lost in thought. In the conference room, Mr. He called Chu Jinin several times, but the guy kept his eyes down, seemingly lost in thought, and didn't respond. Wang Qiang patted him on the shoulder. Chu Jinin then looked up. "What? Mr. He looked speechless. Wang Qiang said from the side, "General Manager, he said that there are too many orders now, so starting today the factory will work overtime until 10:30, and half a day on Saturdays and Sundays. Remember to pass on the notice." Chu Jinin nodded slightly. Understood. The meeting continued for a while, and then everyone gradually dispersed. Mr. He looked at Chu Jinin, who was sitting there motionless, clicked his tongue, got up and sat down next to him. "Xiu Chu, is something wrong? It's almost the end of the year, don't let me down." Chu Jinin glanced at him. "It's nothing." Upon hearing this, Mr. He laughed in anger. "Then do you remember what I said in the meeting just now? Quote. Mr. He said, "What is it?" Tell me and see if I can help, especially with relationship problems. I've been through this before, and I have much more experience than your young people. Chu Jinan looked at him suspiciously. Although he spoke earnestly, he couldn't hide the gossip fire burning in his eyes. Then why did you get divorced? Mister, he said irritably, if I get a divorce, it's not a matter of feelings. It's a difference in values. As he spoke, he sighed and said rather shamelessly, two perfect people can't be together because they don't need each other, so they're destined not to go far. Chu Jinan's lips twitched slightly. Mister, he patted him on the shoulder, still speaking in that earnest, lecturing tone. So, in essence, relationships are about fulfilling your own needs. You can find what you need most in the other person, such as a sense of security, peace of mind, excitement, the feeling of being taken care of, and so on. Conversely, the other party can also get what they need from you. This is called complementarity or suitability. Relying solely on a pretty face and having a temporary burst of popularity won't work, it won't last. Chu Jinan said, it seems that President He is indeed very knowledgeable. Mister, he raised his eyebrows smugly. Do you think I'm bragging to you? No, I'm talking about you. Why are you bringing me into this again? Chapter 124 Ineffable Emotions. Chu Jinan pondered for a long time. Under He's expectant gaze, he finally spoke, I have a friend. As soon as he said that, he laughed. Chu Jinan looked at him, and he immediately stopped smiling, nodding seriously, so what if you have a friend? He lit a cigarette, leaned back in his chair, and said, no rush, take your time. Trust me, I've been there, I have experience. I'm off to work. Chu Jinan stood up and left. He quickly pulled him back, hey, sit down. Tell me what's going on with your friend. Otherwise, you'll be so preoccupied with your friend that you'll end up interfering with my work. Chu Jinan sat back down. Perhaps his expression was too sincere, or perhaps he genuinely didn't know what to do. After a moment of silence, Chu Jinan slowly spoke. He listened, speechless, as if he were listening to a science fiction novel. After a long pause, General Manager he let out a long, oh. You mean, you have a friend who lost their memory after being hit by someone else, and that person, without your friend's knowledge, started dating her. Chu Jinan remained silent, which was taken as tacit agreement. He felt a slight itch on his head and scratched his thinning hair. This should be illegal, right? What should my friend do? He slammed his hand on the table, his face full of exasperation. Sue her, what else can we do? Is your friend an idiot? Think about it, if your friend were a woman, and a man hit her and caused her to lose her memory, instead of taking her to the hospital, he would hide her and have 2 children. How terrifying would that be? He became increasingly angry as he spoke, isn't this just human trafficking? Your friend, could he have some kind of smooth syndrome? Quote. I'm going to work. This time, he didn't pull him back. Instead, he shouted at his retreating figure, hey, remember to tell your friend not to glorify crime. After finishing speaking, he stroked his chin and muttered, could it really be this kid? Thinking about it carefully, he is exceptionally capable, and he always seemed to know nothing when asked anything before, but every time he made a move, he achieved remarkable success. I initially thought he was faking it, but he might actually have real amnesia. Afternoon. Song Yunfei finished her day of studying and glanced at the time in the lower right corner. It was almost 7 o'clock. He glanced at the gate again. As usual, he should have been back long ago. After thinking for a moment, she sent a message to Chu Jinan. I did reply, but told her I had to work overtime and wouldn't be able to leave until 10:30 at the earliest. As expected, it's overtime again. Song Yunfei was a little incredulous. She took out her phone and dialed a long unused number, the number of the receptionist at Chu Jinan's company. The receptionist instinctively jumped when she heard her voice. But when she heard that she was only asking about the factory's overtime situation, the receptionist breathed a sigh of relief. The receptionist told Song Yunfei that the factory was rushing to meet orders, and the workshop staff were working overtime until 10:30, while the warehouse staff were working overtime until 2 or 3 a.m. Song Yunfei knew he was really working overtime, and felt a little more at ease. He probably oversees things like shipping, so it's normal for him to work overtime until 2 or 3 a.m. She felt the same way and didn't know what to do. She thought that there was still more than 3 months left, so she could take her time to think it over and maybe come up with a good solution. Anyway, there's no other way until the shareholders meeting at the end of the year. Song Yunfei has to tell him whether he can come up with a solution or not. When she went downstairs to walk the dog, she saw that the electric scooter was still parked downstairs. Chu Jinan hadn't ridden his scooter to work. After walking Quan Quan and taking him back to get him washed, it was almost 10:30. Song Yunfei grabbed her car keys and went out. Chu Jinan stayed in the office until 11 o'clock, and then went to the warehouse. There were several batches of goods to be shipped in the next few days, and the warehouse staff would often work overtime until dawn. Unfortunately, today was the day with too much cargo, and we worked until 5 a.m. before the delivery trucks slowly left. The factory workers gradually left work, all of them exhausted and listless. As people walked out of the industrial park, many looked in that direction. Chu Jinan also glanced at it subconsciously. Then he saw the familiar little pink electric scooter, with someone sitting on it, or rather, lying down. The man was sitting on the electric scooter seat, with a coat over his head, and was practically lying on top of the scooter. Chu Jinan paused slightly. At 5:30 a.m., the sky was a hazy grey blue, and the street lights were still on, though the light was already quite weak. That pink electric scooter sat there all alone in the shadows. An indescribable emotion welled up inside me. He stood there for a few seconds, then started walking in that direction. She was leaning over the handle of the electric scooter, her pale yellow coat completely covering her head and upper body, with a few strands of hair peeking out. The jacket was short, revealing a beige knit sweater on the back and half of her waist. She wore blue jeans and fluffy slippers. Chu Jinan stood beside her, watching silently. The night wind blew by, carrying the chill of a late autumn dawn, stirring the hem of her coat and her loose hair. Seemingly feeling cold, she buried her face even deeper into her arms, and even the strands of hair that were sticking out of the window were pulled back into her coat with this movement. Chu Jinan raised his hand and pulled the key off the electric scooter. He then raised his hand and patted his coat. Song Yunfei. Song Yunfei reached out her fingers, grabbed the coat, and pressed it down under her arm. Song Yunfei, wake up. He raised the volume, and Song Yunfei finally moved. She raised her head blankly, and the coat covering her head slipped down, revealing a sleepy face. His hair was messy, and there were several marks on his forehead. Oh, what time is it? Seeing Chu Jinan beside her, she finally realized that she had come to pick him up. She brushed a strand of hair from her face and smiled. You were off work. What are you doing here? I saw you weren't riding your bike, and I was worried you were working late again like last night and couldn't get a taxi. Anyway, I had nothing else to do, so I came over to wait for you, but I accidentally fell asleep. Chu Jinan looked at her, speechless for a moment. Song Yunfei took out her phone and glanced at it, exclaiming, Oh my god, it's almost 6 o'clock. Perfect timing to have breakfast and then go back to sleep. How long have you been waiting here? Song Yunfei thought for a moment, then chuckled twice. I can't remember, I was half asleep. Chu Jinan looked at her silently. The night wind whipped up fallen leaves, swirling them past their feet. Song Yunfei flinched and put on her coat. The next moment, she felt a slight weight on her shoulder. Turning her head, she realized that Chu Jinan had draped his coat over her shoulders. Don't do that again, it's not safe. This time, it was Song Yunfei's turn to stare blankly at him. Hearing the familiar tone of voice, she broke into a big smile. She looked a little silly. A gust of wind blew, and strands of hair flew wildly across her face, adding a touch of I feel relieved. Chapter 125. You seem to care more about those photos. She just wanted to confirm whether Chu Jinin had remembered. If I remembered, I definitely wouldn't have treated her like this. Now I can finally rest assured. Sit back, Chu Jinin said, interrupting her thoughts. Song Yunfei responded with an oh, stood up, took 2 steps back, and sat down on the cushion behind her. Chu Jinin also lifted his leg and sat down, then inserted the key back into the lock. Song Yunfei took off his coat and draped it over his shoulders, saying, "Put this on, it's so cold right now." He grabbed the coat and stuffed it back into Song Yunfei's hands, saying, "No need, I just finished moving some goods. You, as the supervisor, also have to move goods. The supervisor isn't an emperor." With that, he twisted the accelerator and drove the electric scooter off. Well, Song Yunfei was speechless. A night breeze blew, and Song Yunfei was awakened from her slumber. Looking at the retreating figure ahead, she spoke again, "So, will you still come to the factory during the day?" "Come in the afternoon." "Oh." Song Yunfei looked at the clothes in her hand, but still picked them up and draped them over his back. Chu Jinin paused, then said nothing more. The car was parked near the residential area. It was almost dawn, and the sky was beginning to lighten. The breakfast shop was open, so Song Yunfei ran down, bought breakfast, and got back into the car. Back at the restaurant, the two sat down to eat, an eerie silence still hanging in the air. Song Yunfei glanced up at him, but he just silently ate his breakfast. As usual, nothing has changed, but something seems off. "Well, you should probably ride your bike to the factory this afternoon, otherwise it'll be hard to get a taxi at night." Chu Jinin paused, remained silent for 2 seconds, and then responded. After dinner, Chu Jinin took a shower and then went back to his room to sleep. Song Yunfei couldn't sleep, so she didn't go to sleep and turned on her computer to continue studying. She enthusiastically took a mock exam and scored 72 points, which is barely enough to distinguish road signs abroad. Song Yunfei refused to believe it, thinking she had worked quite hard lately, so how could she only get 72 points? "I took the test again, and okay, I got 70 points. She quickly reassured herself that she had already scored 70 points and was not far from 80. It's just for going abroad, not for studying at a prestigious university, so it's good enough. After shutting down the computer and glancing at the time, it was already 12:30, and Chu Jinin still hadn't gotten up. Song Yunfei was unsure whether to call him. He was going to the factory in the afternoon, but he had only slept all morning. Would he be able to get a good night's sleep? After hesitating for a long time, she decided to cook first. After preparing the meal, I went into the room to call Chu Jinin. Pushing open the door, I saw a man lying on the bed. He had one arm over his eyes, covering his eyebrows and eyes, revealing only his tightly pursed thin lips, and his face seemed to be flushed. Song Yunfei tiptoed over, poked his shoulder with a finger, and whispered, "Chu Jinin." Hearing the sound, he moved and removed the arm that was blocking his eyes. He lifted his eyelids, his gaze somewhat unfocused, and his eyes were bloodshot. "What time is it?" His voice was terribly hoarse, thick with nasal tones and filled with exhaustion. He struggled to sit up in bed, but could only manage to lean against the headboard. Judging from his appearance, Song Yunfei figured he was probably sick. I reached out and touched his forehead. It was surprisingly hot. Song Yunfei turned and ran out, and soon returned with a thermometer. "Take your measurements first." Chu Jinin glanced at the thermometer in her hand and shook his head slightly. "No need, I'll just take some medicine later." "Take your temperature first." If it's too serious, you'll have to go to the hospital. You can't just take any medicine. As Song Yunfei spoke, she grabbed his hand, slipped it under his collar, and placed the thermometer under his armpit. The cool fingertips brushed against his skin, and Chu Jinan stiffened slightly. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Song Yunfei pressed down on his arm, signaling him to clam it. It must be because you sweated last night and then took off your clothes, and then caught a cold from the cold wind. Who would have thought that Song Yunfei, who waited outside all night, didn't catch a cold, but he was the one who did. This illness is completely different from the last one, it looks much more serious than the last one. Chu Jinan leaned against the headboard, quietly watching her lips open and close. Sunlight streamed in through the gaps in the curtains, illuminating the bedroom and seemingly bathing her in a glow. Song Yunfei went out again to pour him a glass of water and brought it back in, asking, "Would you like some water?" Chu Jinan simply shook his head slightly. Song Yunfei placed the water glass on the cabinet. The time was almost up, and she skillfully slipped into his pajamas and took out the thermometer. Seeing the temperature reading 39.8 degrees Celsius, almost 40 degrees, Song Yunfei's expression changed. "It's so high, we have to go to the hospital." He stubbornly shook his head. "No need, there are fever reducers in the first aid kit, I'll take them and sleep it off." Song Yunfei looked anxious. "What's so good about it? A fever this high will damage your brain. You already have. Anyway, you are coming to the hospital with me." Chu Jinan looked at her calmly, then suddenly asked, "What do you mean, originally?" Song Yunfei choked for a moment. "I already have amnesia, but if my brain gets damaged by the fever, wouldn't that be better?" Song Yunfei was stunned again. These words inexplicably made her heart skip a beat. "What? It's nothing. I don't want to go to the hospital." Song Yunfei opened her mouth as if to say something, but she also knew that once this guy got stubborn, nothing she said would make a difference. "Just like before when I asked him to delete the photos, I still haven't been able to get him to delete them." Photo. Song Yunfei suddenly remembered something important. "By the way, you said last time I'd delete the photos when I got back, did you delete them?" Chu Jinan remained expressionless. "You seem to care more about those photos than my illness." Quote. Sure enough, as expected, he always managed to shut her down with a single sentence. "Shall we go to the hospital?" "I'm not going." Song Yunfei took a deep breath and kept telling herself that she couldn't get angry with the patient. After convincing herself, she smiled and said, "Okay, I'll go buy you the medicine." Although there are many medicines at home, Song Yunfei felt that she should still consult a doctor first and not take them indiscriminately. Song Yunfei stood up and suddenly felt her wrist being grabbed. She turned to look at the man on the bed. His face was flushed, but his eyes were clear. He just stared at me. Looking into his deep gaze, Song Yunfei's heart softened. "What's wrong?" Chu Jinan's lips moved slightly, as if he wanted to say something, but in the end he let go of her. Song Yunfei hesitated for a moment, then, after confirming that he really had nothing to say, she turned and walked out. I watched the door close and listened to the footsteps receding outside until they completely disappeared before slowly turning my gaze away. The room was eerily quiet, and the outside was just as quiet. The usual chirping of cicadas had vanished without a trace. It was so quiet, as if even the air itself was still. It's hard to tell whether it's because the room is too soundproof, or because of the emptiness created by her leaving. Just like he couldn't distinguish whether the doctor's words were a dependence caused by the brain's self-protection, or. And after regaining their memories, how much of that brief period will they occupy in the long river of memory? He had once confidently claimed to be able to represent himself after regaining his memories, but now, having glimpsed a corner of the truth, he was uncertain again. Because the first thing that came to mind when I thought of it was anger, even though it only lasted for a few seconds. Countless chaotic and complex emotions swirled in his mind, leaving him feeling lost and confused. Chapter 126 Was he laughing? When Song Yunfei returned after buying the medicine, he was leaning against the headboard and seemed to have fallen asleep. She slowed her pace, but before she had taken 2 steps, he opened his eyes. Song Yunfei hunched over slightly, looking somewhat like a thief. She gave an awkward smile and asked, "You're not asleep?" Chu Jinan remained silent. She walked over on her own, took out the medicine, divided it for him, and placed it on a tissue on the table. "The water's cold, I'll get you a fresh cup." They quickly poured the water back and handed the cup to him, saying, "Eat up, then take a nap. If your fever doesn't go down, we'll have to go to the hospital." Chu Jinan remained silent for a moment, then picked up the medicine and took it. Song Yunfei pushed him to lie down. He lay down, but his eyes remained open, staring intently at Song Yunfei. Song Yunfei picked up the blanket and covered him up. Seeing his appearance, she couldn't help but laugh. "She looks like a child. Why are you looking at me like that? Go to sleep, or do you want me to tell you a story?" "Good." Song Yunfei was taken aback. He really wanted to hear it. Looking into his dark pupils, Song Yunfei bit her lip and began to ponder deeply. After a moment of contemplation, she slowly spoke. "There was a person cooking. The first time he didn't light the fire, and the second time he didn't light the fire either, but the food was still cooked. Why do you think that is?" Chu Jinan paused for a moment, then said, "He used electricity." "No," Song Yunfei smiled mysteriously, "because practice makes perfect, ha ha ha." Quote. Song Yunfei chuckled a few times, then, noticing the speechless expression on his face, gradually stopped smiling. She coughed lightly, "Then I'll choose another one." "What is it that I have but you don't?" Chu Jinan remained silent for a long time, his gaze slowly moving down from her face. Song Yunfei suddenly hugged herself, glaring at him irritably. "Where are you looking?" Chu Jinan shifted his gaze back. "What is it?" "Song Yunfei, I have things you don't, because we are 2 people. Is this a lame joke, or a story?" Song Yunfei hesitated. "I haven't read any stories either, let me think." She racked her brains, her face scrunched up like a bun, but she couldn't come up with a decent story. After a moment, she put her fist to her lips and said in a serious tone, "Ahem, then let me tell you well, the story of Quan Quan fighting alien dogs." One dark and stormy night, Quan Quan was chewing on her beloved chew toy when suddenly, a green light flashed by. A strangely shaped alien dog with 3 heads, that could breathe fire and speak dog language, landed on our balcony in a flying dog bowl. As she spoke, she waved her arms, mimicking the landing of an alien spaceship, her eyes wide open, and deliberately lowered her voice to create an air of mystery. "The alien dog says it comes from Woof Woof planet, and that their chew toys were stolen. They suspect Quan Quan was responsible and want to take Quan Quan back to Woof Woof planet to face trial." As she was talking, she suddenly stood up and started gesturing wildly. In the blink of an eye, Quan Quan did a dragon's tail swing, no, a dog's tail swing, and jumped onto the top of the refrigerator, and then the window didn't seem to be closed tightly, and a slight breeze was blowing in, causing the curtains to flutter slightly. Light streamed in, flickering on her body and lifting a few stray hairs from her forehead. When talking about the alien dog being defeated, she raised her chin, looking smug, as if she herself had defeated the alien dog. In the end, Quan Quan drove away the alien dogs, protected Earth, and became a legend in the neighborhood. As Song Yunfei spoke, she inadvertently met Chu Jinan's eyes. Then, she froze. Chu Jinan was still looking at her, but his calm eyes were shimmering with emotion, and the corners of his tightly pursed lips had subtly lifted at some point. Is he laughing? The curve was very shallow, but very natural, as if he himself hadn't even noticed it. Like a crack in a frozen lake, It broke through his indifference and aloofness, revealing her soft vitality. Just as she was about to mimic Quan Quan accepting an award, she slowly lowered her arm and couldn't help but smile. Was the story interesting? The smile on Chu Jinan's lips vanished as quickly as it appeared, but a hint of amusement remained in his eyes. He nodded slightly. Quan Quan is really amazing. In fact, Song Yunfei had already forgotten what she was saying. She just said whatever came to mind, and the whole thing was completely nonsensical. It was even quite childish, to the point that even a child would find it repulsive, yet he listened so attentively and cooperated so diligently. The two stared at each other silently, and the air fell into a brief silence, like the stillness after the excitement had subsided. A moment later, Song Yunfei sat down next to him. Do you like Quan Quan? Chu Jinan hesitated for 2 seconds, then said, I like it. Song Yunfei breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. I'm glad you like it. When it grows into a big dog, it should be as majestic as the one in my story. Don't bully it. She felt that she probably wouldn't be able to see it anymore. Chu Jinan likes it and will definitely take good care of it. In the future, it will eat and drink well with him. I'm so envious. Chu Jinan stared straight at her, his gaze gradually becoming intense. What if I bully it? Song Yunfei suddenly couldn't answer, and her eyes inexplicably became hot. She turned to the side, avoiding the man's gaze, biting her lip, trying to speak several times, but feeling that she would reveal her sobs. She took several deep breaths, swallowed the sob in her throat, and then smiled and said, if you bully it, it won't like you anymore. You should go to sleep now, I'll take it out to relieve itself. Song Yunfei stood up, not daring to look at him, and quickly walked out. Watching her hastily departing figure, Chu Jinan slowly sat up. He leaned against the headboard, staring blankly at the ceiling. After a long while, he closed his eyes listlessly. Song Yunfei led Quan Quan from inside the residential area all the way to the outside. She was distracted, and every time Quan Quan spotted a good spot and was about to lift her leg, she was pulled away by the rope on her back. It wasn't yet time to get off work, and there were very few pedestrians on the street. A few leaves fall from the tree every now and then, and when the wind blows, they flutter down in a flurry. Song Yunfei walked to the bench and sat down. Quan Quan stuck out her tongue and stared at her for a while, making sure she wouldn't leave again. Then she walked to the tree next to her and lifted her leg to urinate. Isn't that Cui Hua, walking her dog all by herself here? As soon as the voice rang out, the first person to respond to him was not Song Yunfei, but Quan Quan, who was standing next to him. Upon seeing Bai Yu, Quan Quan charged at him as if he were her mortal enemy, baring her teeth. Song Yunfei snapped out of her daze and pulled Quan Quan back to his senses. Turning her head, she saw Bai Yu wearing a brown trench coat, his hands in his pockets, smiling at her. A car was parked next to him, obviously having stopped after passing by and seeing her. But when he saw Song Yunfei's downcast expression, he stopped smiling. Chapter 127 Can you distinguish between guilt and liking? What's going on? Bai Yu wanted to go over, but was a little afraid of the menacing dog, so she could only stand a meter away. Song Yunfei looked away, not in the mood to talk to him. It's nothing. Did Chu Jinan bully you? Bai Yu persisted, tentatively taking a step forward. Quan Quan immediately jumped up, and he silently withdrew his foot. No. Bai Yu pondered for a moment, so you're worried about him regaining his memories. Song Yunfei remained silent. The answer was obvious. That's not all she's worried about. Keep your dog leash away. Song Yunfei glanced at him and said, you deserve it. Who told you to take it to be spayed? Bai Yu was a little embarrassed after being discovered. He coughed lightly and said, I was only doing it for its own good, to prevent it from going out and harming other dogs. I think you just want revenge. Haha, am I that kind of person? Okay, move that away, I have something important to tell you. Song Yunfei looked at him suspiciously for a moment, then tied the rope to the chair, got up and walked over to him. Say what? Bai Yu sighed and said helplessly, of course it's about Chu Jinan, what else could it be? Song Yunfei was silent. Someone will be coming soon. What are your plans? Song Yunfei asked in surprise, how did you know? Bai Yu smiled and said, never mind how I know, just tell me what you think first. Song Yunfei lowered her head, her mind a jumbled mess, unable to make sense of anything. I have a feeling that he seems to have remembered something, but then again, I don't think so. And what you said about someone not wanting him to go back. What will happen to my parents if I leave? Bai Yu clicked his tongue, a hint of melancholy on his face. It's a hassle, but not an exceptional one. Do you have a solution? Yes, it definitely is. Although I don't really want to, I have no other choice but to do this for you. From his tone, Song Yunfei could roughly guess that he was referring to using his family connections. Song Yunfei was still a little touched, but she didn't want to owe him such a big favor. Bai Yu, thank you, but it's alright. If it really doesn't work out, I'll just turn myself in. Bai Yu paused for a moment, then surprisingly agreed with her suggestion, I think it's a good idea. Song Yunfei twitched the corners of her mouth, unsure of what to say for a moment. Bai Yu laughed and said, alright, don't be so pessimistic. When the people looking for him arrive, it won't be your problem anymore. What you should be thinking about now is when you plan to leave. Song Yunfei's mood grew even heavier. Seeing this, Bai Yu seemed to sigh and softly uttered a few words, it seems you're really caught up in it. Why won't you listen to advice? When will the people looking for him arrive? I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe next month. I see. Okay, then what? Song Yunfei fell silent again, a silence that annoyed Bai Yu. Seeing her sad expression, all I could do was sigh helplessly, you really are. He raised his hand and picked up a fallen leaf from Song Yunfei's shoulder. Never mind, tell me when you've made up your mind. Bai Yu didn't say anything more to her. When it comes to matters of the heart, no one else can offer advice. Isn't he the same? Even knowing it's fake, they still willingly deceive themselves. Bai Yu turned and got into the car parked by the roadside. A moment later, the black car disappeared from sight. Song Yunfei took Quan Quan back with her. It was getting dark when she pushed open the bedroom door. The room was dimly lit. But she could still see the man leaning against the headboard. She didn't turn on the light and quietly went inside. She went to the bedside and reached out to touch Chu Jinan's forehead. The temperature is still high, but not as hot as it was in the afternoon. Before I could pull my hand back, it was grasped by a warm hand. Song Yunfei paused, you're not asleep. I can't sleep. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? The room was quiet for a few seconds before his slightly hoarse voice could be heard. Yes. Song Yunfei sat down and asked softly, where does it hurt? I don't know either. Song Yunfei frowned, unsure of what it meant. Don't you even know where you are hurting? Have no idea. Song Yunfei sighed, then let's go to the hospital. I'll drive you there. Just as he was about to get up, his wrist suddenly tightened, and he was pulled back by a force. She fell into his chest. The light inside grew dimmer, and even their outlines became barely discernible. His body temperature was very high, burning her cheeks through his thin pajamas. The sound of a heartbeat clearly reached my ears. That large hand grasped hers and pressed it against the spot where her heartbeat was coming from. Here. Song Yunfei couldn't hear his voice very clearly. She could hear the vibrations coming from his chest more clearly. With her palm pressed against his chest, Song Yunfei paused. Does it hurt here? Your fever is really high. Could it be pneumonia? You should go to the hospital right away. Quote. Chu Jinan removed her hand, reached out and pulled her into his arms, resting his head on her shoulder. His hot breath sprayed onto Song Yunfei's neck, and her body trembled. Song Yunfei, can you distinguish between guilt and affection? Song Yunfei's heart skipped a beat again, but she felt a chill in his warm embrace. Are you delirious from the fever? Why are you suddenly asking this? Maybe. Song Yunfei was a little flustered. You lie down and rest first. I'll go cook. You haven't eaten lunch yet. Tell me another story. What story should I tell? Tell me a story about a little rabbit who loves to eat carrots. Quote. Song Yunfei finally realized that he was delirious from the fever. We can't delay any longer, Song Yunfei said forcefully, pulling his hand away. Stop talking nonsense, I'm taking you to the hospital. He held her tightly, saying, I'm not going. No, you have to go. If you don't go, I'll never talk to you again. Can you tell the difference between carrots and radishes? Only an idiot wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'm begging you, come to the hospital with me. You want to eat radishes, I'll go buy some and cook them for you later, okay? Song Yunfei reached out to turn on the light, but he grabbed her hand back. She was truly at her wit's end. After a long while, Song Yunfei said again, all right, since you're not going to the hospital, lie down and I'll help you wipe yourself down. Chu Jinan seemed not to hear her and said to himself, actually, you'll know once you try it. Quote. You know it without even tasting it. That's why you can't tell the difference. Song Yunfei sighed, okay, I can't tell. Can you let me go first? She was genuinely frightened by him, the fever was just too high. He still wouldn't move. Song Yunfei reached out and gently stroked his face, whispering, please let me go. Chapter 128 Remembering a Little. After he said that, the room fell silent again. Song Yunfei didn't know how much time had passed, and she thought he had fallen asleep, but unexpectedly he spoke again. Let go, where are you going? Song Yunfei paused for a moment, then said in a low voice, I'll go get your medicine, fetch some water, and get a towel. I'll be right back. After another 10 seconds or so, she finally felt the grip on her loosen a little. Song Yunfei helped him lie down, saying, lie down first, I'll be right back. She turned on the night light next to her, and the dim yellow light instantly illuminated the room. Chu Jinan seemed to be dazzled by the sudden light and raised his hand to shield his eyes. Song Yunfei glanced at him, picked up the water glass on the table, got up and walked out. There was still lunch left on the table, but he made Song Yunfei lose her appetite. She quickly filled a glass with water, grabbed a towel, and went inside. Then the guy sat up again. Song Yunfei simply took out a thermometer and prepared to take his temperature first. This time, before she could even lift a finger, Chu Jinan took the thermometer and placed it under her armpit. Take your medicine first, Song Yunfei handed him the medicine. Only after he had put the medicine in his mouth did I hand him the water glass. After waiting a few minutes, Chu Jinan took out the thermometer and checked it himself first. Song Yunfei leaned closer to look, no wonder he was talking nonsense, it's gone up again. It was 39.8 in the afternoon, and it's 39.9 now. Oh. I'm not going. Should I call an ambulance then? Chu Jinan looked at her quietly, I've already taken my medicine. Song Yunfei said helplessly, but the fever hasn't gone down. I'll cancel it in a bit. Song Yunfei took another deep breath and silently repeated to himself, he's sick, he's sick. She smiled and said, then let's wait another hour. If it doesn't go down, can we go to the hospital? Chu Jinan hesitated for a moment, staring at her concerned eyes, before finally nodding. Seeing that he had finally given in, Song Yunfei breathed a sigh of relief. She took out her phone, set an alarm, bent down, picked up a towel from the basin, wrung it out, and wiped his hand. Then he unbuttoned his shirt and wiped his chest. Chu Jinan leaned against the headboard, gazing at her quietly. She lowered her eyes, focusing intently on wiping, the warm light illuminating her profile, half of which was hidden in shadow. It's like splitting her into two different versions of herself. She spent the most time rubbing her chest, obviously because she was looking at her abs. Live abs, breathing abs. Most of the time before, the lights were off, or I was busy doing other things and didn't have time to look at it, so I never had the chance to look at it so carefully. Since we are already halfway up the mountain, let's get to the top first. Song Yunfei, who was engrossed in working on his abs, paused in his actions upon hearing this. She subconsciously raised her head and looked into the man's eyes, her entire face then being fully exposed to the light. What? Chu Jinan lowered his eyes, his gaze clearer than before. He said, "It's what you asked before." Song Yunfei paused for a moment and remembered that she had asked him before whether to continue climbing or go downhill if a person suddenly found themselves halfway up a mountain. His answer then was only hypothetical, but this time, it was an undeniable firmness. Her breath hitched, and her heart began to race. This doesn't sound like nonsense. Bringing up this question out of the blue at this time is bound to make Song Yunfei nervous. Why are you suddenly asking this? Are you? She wanted to ask him if he remembered something, but if he didn't remember after asking, wouldn't that be an admission of guilt? Chu Jinan noticed her confusion and slowly said, "I remember a little." Song Yunfei's voice trembled slightly as she asked, "How much is 1 point?" "I remember now, I've seen you before." Where? It looks like the roadside, but it also looks like a hospital." "I can't tell." Song Yunfei's heart, which had been hanging in suspense, eased a little. "Is that so?" He said he couldn't remember anything, which made Song Yunfei suspicious. After all, what he said seemed like nonsense, but every word made Song Yunfei's heart pound. After a pause, Song Yunfei said, "Do you have a question for me?" Song Yunfei mentally prepared herself again. "What are you asking?" "Will you come up the mountain with me?" Quote. I didn't prepare myself mentally enough. Only when you reach the top of the mountain can you see the path you came from and know where you should go. Song Yunfei's fingers tightened around the towel. His words stirred ripples in my heart. Although she was reluctant to admit it, she had many ways to leave during this period of time, troublesome but at least she could get away. They found seemingly reasonable reasons to stay, but it was simply because they couldn't bear to part with this stolen warmth during this limited time. I couldn't bear to see his dejected expression, nor could I bear to see him sad. I used to think that love was something ethereal and fake, something that could only be seen online and would never happen to me. Because they had never encountered it before, they were greedy and disregarded the cost. Song Yunfei looked up and smiled slightly. "Okay." The two stared at each other silently, as if the invisible barrier between them had dissipated and the lights had become much brighter. Chu Jinan grasped the hand on her chest and led her over. Chu Jinan's gaze slowly moved down from her eyes, across the tip of her upturned nose, and finally settled on her lips. Before they knew it, the two were very close. But just as they were about to touch, Chu Jinan pulled away again, simply holding her in his arms. "I have a cold, I can't let it infect you." Song Yunfei pressed her cheek against his chest, which was warmer than usual, listened to his heartbeat, and reached out to hug his waist. Even just holding him quietly, I still felt time flying by. The alarm clock, which had been set for 1 hour, rang. Song Yunfei straightened up and picked up the thermometer. It was handed to him, indicating that he should do it himself. Chu Jinan took the thermometer and very conscientiously placed it under his armpit. I waited 5 minutes, then took it out and looked at it. Song Yunfei was also stunned, looking at him in surprise, and even a little doubted that he was faking it. After an hour, it dropped to 38.5. But judging from his demeanor, he really doesn't seem to be faking it. Fortunately, her temperature had come down, so she didn't have to worry anymore. She stood up and said, "Since your fever has subsided, you should rest for a while. I'll go heat up some food. I haven't had lunch yet." This person is really strange. One second he's full, and the next he's hungry. Watching her leave, Chu Jinan's expression returned to its usual calm. When people are struggling with something and can't figure it out, the simplest way is to stop thinking about it and do whatever makes them feel better. As for the future, we're too busy taking care of ourselves right now. Why should we think about the future? Like a starving beggar with only one bun in his hand, should he eat it now, or wait until he dies to eat it? Any beggar would choose the former. Chapter 129. What kind of company do you want to start? Song Yunfei heated up the breakfast, returned to the bedroom, and asked him, "Should I bring it to you?" Chu Jinan shook his head and moved off the bed. "No need, it's not that serious." She knew that even if she was sick, she wouldn't be able to stand eating in bed, so she didn't bring the food directly to her. Sitting at the dining table again, Chu Jinan still looked a little pale, but his spirits had improved considerably. Suddenly remembering something, Chu Jinan asked her, "If you wanted to start a company, what kind of company would you want to start?" Without thinking, Song Yunfei instinctively replied, "It must be a design company." After saying that, she seemed to realize something was off, so she smiled and explained, "This was my childhood dream." Chu Jinan ignored her explanation and continued, "So, what should the company be named?" "Get Rich Quick." "What?" Song Yunfei joked, "It's all about getting rich quick. Isn't the purpose of starting a company to make money? Of course, we need to choose an auspicious name." She's talking complete nonsense. If she really started a company, she would never come up with this name. Chu Jinan pondered for a moment, then reluctantly hummed in agreement, "Indeed, it's a good name." Song Yunfei gave him an approving look. Great minds think alike. After dinner, Song Yunfei cleared the table and then took a basin of water to the bedroom to wipe him down again. She felt that wiping Chu Jinan's body with warm water was half the reason why his fever subsided so quickly. "I was just too tired. I slept for 3 or 4 hours on the electric scooter last night, and I didn't sleep at all during the day. I also had to take care of Chu Jinan." The room was too quiet, and repeating the same action for a short while made my eyelids start to droop. Chu Jinan could see it clearly from the side. Her eyelids were drooping, her head was nodding little by little, and her eyes were open, but the pupils were almost invisible. The towel in his hand kept wiping downwards, soaking a large area of his pants. He suddenly reached out and placed his hand under her chin, supporting her chin as it continued to droop. In her hazy state, Song Yunfei only felt herself leaning against the pillow, and then she relaxed her shoulders and fell asleep. Chu Jinan cradled her face and stared at her for a long time. The light shone obliquely on her head, coating her messy, fluffy hair with a layer of crystal clear light. He first took out his phone and took a few photos before getting out of bed. When Song Yunfei opened her eyes again, it was already the next morning. I instinctively touched the side next to me. It was empty. I got up and went outside to take a look. There was only breakfast on the table, but Chu Jinan was nowhere to be seen. She picked up her phone and sent him a message. Why didn't this guy rest for a couple more days while he was sick? He's in such a rush to go to work. Not long after, I received a reply. He had indeed gone to work. Song Yunfei glanced again at where he kept the electric scooter keys and smiled. He had ridden Little Pink away today. "Mister." He appeared behind Chu Jinan like a ghost, his hands behind his back. I glanced at him and saw him chatting with girlfriend, and clicked my tongue. Chu Jinan paused, then turned to look at President He. "Mister." He subtly shifted his gaze and asked without changing his expression, "Didn't you say you were sick yesterday? So I came to check on you. How are you today? Are you feeling better?" Chu Jinan put away his phone. "Okay. That's good. We're busy at the end of the year, and we should probably follow up on the payments." Chu Jinan frowned. It should be payments for goods from before this quarter. I haven't been involved in the business. Mister, he chuckled and said, oh dear, you haven't had any contact with them, but you are a shareholder now, so don't you think you should do your part? Besides rushing to deliver goods, the most troublesome thing at the end of the year is getting payment for the goods. Mister, he had a headache just thinking about collecting the money, so he set his sights on Chu Jinan. This kid is hiding his true abilities, he might have a way to get it back. Does Mr. he mean that if these payments are recovered, I will also receive a share? Mister, he chuckled and said, of course, you are a shareholder, so of course you have some. The contract states that it will not take effect until next year, since this year is almost over. But small factories don't have so many rules. It's just a matter of his word. In order to get the money back, what's wrong with giving him a share? Especially those that have been delayed for a year or two. If they don't get their money back, they won't get a single penny. Chu Jinan said, okay, but the contract needs to be changed. Mister, he gave him a disapproving look. What, are you afraid I'll go back on my word? I naturally trust Mr. he, but when it comes to money, it's best to handle things officially. Mister, he knew his personality, he was very serious and didn't bother to argue. Fine, whatever you say, I'll change it. As long as you can get it back, I'll change it however I want. Seeing Mr. he's casual demeanor, Chu Jinan secretly shook his head. No wonder the factory was on the verge of closing down just a few years after the divorce. After finishing his sentence, Mr. he started gossiping again, speaking of which, did your friend sue the person who hit him? Chu Jinan glanced at him. Is Mr. he not busy anymore? Mr. he said with a smile, it'll only take a few words, it won't delay anything. It's best for outsiders not to meddle in other people's business. Mr. he was taken aback. Who was this kid pointing at? Never mind, you go ahead with your work. Having failed to get any gossip, Mr. he left dejectedly. The end of the year is already busy, and now there's an extra task, making it even busier. Chu Jinan has been closely monitoring Liu Moke's situation. Previously, Wu Wei suddenly disappeared, and Liu Moke searched for him extensively. When she finally found Wu Wei, she almost started a fight. Wu Wei explained that he went back to his hometown for a blind date, and there was no cell phone signal there, which is why he lost contact. Then Liu Moke should sell all his stocks and buy another stock, which will quickly make up for the losses. Liu Moke initially didn't believe it, but after paying attention for 2 days, she found that it was similar to what Wu Wei had said, with the overall trend being upward. As long as you have enough principal, you can make back the losses in a few days. Therefore, Liu Moke decisively sold his stocks and followed Wu Wei in buying another one. He also sold his car, Bentley, and replaced it with a Mazda. The stock price rose impressively in the first 2 days after I invested, and I recovered 1/5 of my losses. But then the market turned green every day, and although the losses weren't huge, it still made Liu Moke anxious. Wu Wei comforted him, saying it was a minor problem and that he could buy at the bottom after the price dropped another 2 points. Then Liu Moke sold 2 of her houses that she rarely lived in. This pattern continued for about half a month, and Liu Moke sold all the houses he owned, leaving only the one he lives in. I even took out a loan from the bank and invested it. October has already passed more than halfway through, and November is just around the corner. Wu Wei received a call from Chu Jinan, asking him to start a company. He immediately became excited. Was President Chu going to invest in starting his own company? Okay, Brother Chu, what kind of company should we start? Wu Wei asked excitedly. Chapter 130 The patient is too weak to cook. Wu Wei has now accumulated a considerable amount of funds, approximately 60. Some of it belonged to Chu Jinan, though he didn't give much. It was all pooled together and put into the stock market. The more principal you have, the more you earn, right? Chu Jinan has no intention of taking him back, instead, he wants him to start a company. It's not quite the same as the investment of several million or tens of millions that Wu Wei had envisioned, but he's still very happy. President Chu definitely wants to test himself, and he will surely invest more in the future. Brother Chu, I'm so touched by your trust in me. I'm speechless. You tell me where to go, and I'll do it. If you ask me to kill someone, I definitely won't kill a pig. Wu Wei was so moved he almost cried, his voice choked with emotion. For Chu Jinan, Wu Wei's greatest strength is his obedience, his lack of ability is his greatest strength, and he's also quite clever. Only people like this are indispensable to him, and are the most useful. When Song Yanfei got home from work, she was surprised to find that Chu Jinan had returned home earlier than her and was already cooking in the kitchen. He's been incredibly busy lately, coming home around 11 or 12 every night, and working overtime on Saturdays and Sundays too. The two lived under the same roof, but they were almost at the point where they could hardly see each other anymore. At first, she was on tenterhooks for a whole week because Bai Yu said someone was coming to find Chu Jinan. But now, more than half a month has passed, and the person who came looking for him has not appeared, so Song Yanfei has gradually lowered his guard. She went to the kitchen, sneaked up to the man cooking, and hugged him from behind. Guess who I am? Chu Jinan didn't stop stirring the food. He reached out with his other hand and grasped the hand around his waist. It's some alien who comes home from get off work and attacks without washing his hands. You are the alien. Song Yanfei let go of him, walked to the stove, leaned against it, and glanced at the food in the pot. Who told you to be nowhere to be seen lately? I almost forgot about Chef Chu's cooking skills. Why are you here so early today? I'm almost done with my work, I can rest for a couple of days now, he said, ladling the vibrant green vegetables into a plate. Song Yanfei smiled at him, took the plate from his hand, and said, "Give it to me." After taking the dishes out, she came back and looked at him expectantly. She reached out and touched his cheek. You must be exhausted. You've lost weight. Is Mr. He treating you like a donkey? Chu Jinan stopped what he was doing, turned around to face her, and took her hand. Have you lost weight? Song Yanfei nodded. You've lost weight. He looked down at her and pulled her closer. Do you want to get checked out? Song Yanfei's cheeks flushed under his gaze, and she instinctively tried to pull her hand back, but he held it tightly. She tried to turn the tables, saying, "Let me check then, let me see if you've been completely drained by Mr. He." Song Yanfei broke free of his grip, and Chu Jinan released her as well. She grabbed the man's arm and looked him up and down in a very serious manner. They circled around him again. Chu Jinan stood there, looking down at her, as if letting her examine him. Song Yanfei turned back to him, stopped, and poked his arm with her finger. She poked his chest, but it didn't feel good through his knitted sweater, so she spread her fingers and openly touched his chest. He commented, the muscles are still there, the pectoral muscles are still there. Overall, he's thinner, but the basic parts are still intact. He asked in a low voice, "Drive. Song, are you sure the examination is complete?" Song Yanfei's face flushed again, and she glared at him irritably. The examination is over. He suddenly pulled her into his arms. Song Yanfei tried to back away, but he pinned her against the stove. Chu Jinan leaned down, looking at her intently from close range. "Doctor, Song, do you have any medical advice?" Song Yanfei immediately tensed up and subconsciously looked back outside. This window is very close to the building across the street. Anyone doing something there will be a clear view. The doctor's order is for you to hurry up and cook, so you can eat more later. Anything else? He whispered, pressing closer and closer until they were almost touching. That's all, let me go right now. Song Yanfei pushed him, worried that someone might see them. Can't you see it like this? With that, he raised his hand and pulled down the Venetian blinds in front of him. Song Yanfei panicked. No, don't do anything rash, this is the kitchen. The patient is too weak to cook and needs treatment. After he finished speaking, he lowered his head and kissed her. Song Yanfei noticed that he seemed to be getting more and more disobedient. He used to be somewhat obedient, but now he wouldn't listen anymore. Either they say yes after listening, but their bodies don't stop moving at all. Song Yanfei was so overwhelmed by his kisses that it took her a while to find an opening and awkwardly turn her head away to avoid his kisses. Stop joking, this is someone else's rented house, not our own. Chu Jinan paused. Song Yanfei realized she might have said something wrong and quickly tried to salvage the situation. What I meant was. Chu Jinan interrupted her, then let's buy a house. Ah. Buy it in Qingcheng. He no longer asked her where she wanted to live, he made the decision directly, which made Song Yanfei a little flustered. You made money. Once the year-end bonus is distributed, it should be enough. Song Yanfei's eyes began to dart around. This is too fast. Or we can get married and register our marriage first. Quote. Song Yanfei regretted it, she shouldn't have come to launch a sneak attack. She bit her lip and whispered, didn't you say it wasn't stable yet? Chu Jinan countered with, what constitutes stability? At the very least, you need a car, a house, and a few $100,000 in savings to be stable. So, if things aren't stable, you're not planning to be with me anymore. Song Yanfei was on the verge of tears. How had he become so aggressive? The more she hesitated, the more turbulent the undercurrent in Chu Jinan's eyes became, and the tighter his arms were around her. Before she could come up with an excuse, Chu Jinan spoke again. Are you waiting for things to settle down, or are you waiting for a certain opportunity, or a certain person, so that you feel you no longer need to consider your future with me? These words stung Song Yanfei's heart. It mercilessly struck at the truth she dared not face. She is waiting for an ending. The ending is either waiting for him to regain his memory and judge her, or waiting for the lies he fabricated to be exposed, forcing her to flee in a sorry state. It's not that she doesn't want a future, it's that she's afraid to think about it. Overwhelmed by immense panic and the embarrassment of being seen through, she turned pale and her lips trembled slightly. I wanted to refute, to defend myself, to continue using those weak excuses to gloss over the situation, but it felt like an invisible hand was gripping my throat, and I couldn't make a sound. Seeing her reddened eyes, Chu Jinan's expression softened. I'm sorry. He closed his eyes briefly, and when he opened them again, the turbulent emotions in his eyes had subsided, replaced by weariness. I shouldn't have asked you that. He held her in his arms, stroking her hair as if to confirm her presence. He said softly, I didn't mean to force you. House, car, savings, if you consider those things necessary for stability, I will work hard for them. But I just want to know that when I wake up tomorrow, I'll still be able to see you. At least that will make me feel that my efforts were truly meaningful.